Hi, I'm Donna. Welcome to my garden. Today I'm going to harvest some Swiss chard, and Swiss chard is just a lovely little plant to grow. If you've not grown it before, I encourage you to do so. I have grown it in 2 different climates, and one climate was very hot. It was zone 8B, and it did great there. And then I'm in a much cooler climate here, zone 6B, and it's growing great here too. So I'm going to show you a way that you can use it. We're going to mix it up with a little bit of beans. I'm actually growing a bean this year called a greasy bean, and since it's towards the end of the season, I've let them plump up real nice, and I'm just going to shell these, and we're going to put that in this dish, okay? And then so what we're going to do is we're going to head on up to my garage, and I'm going to get some onions and some shallots there. I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but that's where they're curing. And then we're going to go up to my container garden, grab a couple things there, and then we'll get inside and get to cooking. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start by getting a little bit of the Swiss chard. Hopefully some of the younger leaves will be a little bit more tender. Okay, and I have some of this fennel here. The seed is green. There we have it. Well, there's another nasturtium, and that is just a beautiful color. So, of course, I've got to get that one. Okay, let's go into my garage. I'm going to get some things that are drying, and then we'll go to the container garden, and I'm going to get a few things up there, and then we'll get to cooking. Okay, so now I'm in my garage, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these little yellow shallots, and I might just go ahead and grab one of these too, just so I have it. That looks like a good size. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the dead part. And of course I want to get a hot pepper, and these are really hot, so they've been on the plant for a while, so that's all I need is one. So let's go inside and cook up something yummy. So I started by shelling my beans. They were just perfect and the perfect size for shelling. So I think I had about a half a cup, and I added that to some salted water and brought those to a boil. And then I removed some of my fennel seeds and just lightly sauteed those in my pan for about 2 minutes to soften them up. And then I transferred them to a little saucer, and I mashed them with the back of my spoon and added about a tablespoon or 2 of grapeseed oil to that, and tore some sourdough bread. I wanted to make little pieces of toast, so I topped the bread with the fennel seed oil and gave it a little sea salt, popped it in my toaster oven so it could crisp up nicely. And I wanted some vinegar on this, so I thought I would infuse the vinegar with some orange zest. So I'm using about 3/4 cup of balsamic vinegar and a half a teaspoon of dark brown sugar, and I went ahead to set that to a low heat so it could simmer and reduce. And then I cooked up 2 pieces of bacon, and when those were done I reserved my drippings and returned the pan back, where I added my red onion and the pepper, which I took the seeds out of the pepper. I let the onions cook down for probably about 3 to 4 minutes. Meanwhile, I cut the ribs out of my Swiss chard, and I chopped those down pretty good. Probably I ended up with about 2 cups of fresh chopped Swiss chard leaves. I added 1 tablespoon of the bacon drippings to the red onions, and then put in the Swiss chard. So I got the Swiss chard cooking pretty well, and I added a cup of water to that, probably after I'd sauteed them for about a minute or 2. Now you could add some kind of stock or a broth or something to this, but I just used water and it was fine. And then I covered it to let those continue to cook. I want my greens pretty soft. I checked on my vinegar. It was reducing nicely. It's probably reduced about halfway then. So I strained out the orange zest, cleaned out my saute pan, and returned the vinegar to continue to reduce to a nice glaze. And I put a little bit of cracked white pepper in with my greens. Checked on my glaze once more. It was thickening up nicely, so I removed it from the heat. And now my beans were done. I guess I cooked those probably 25 minutes total. So I added those to my greens, and then I sauteed and removed the rest of the moisture and decided it was time to eat. My glaze was nice and thick. So I've transferred everything to my plate. And let me tell you, the fennel toast was smelling so good. I only wish I had put more fennel seed on there, and I will do that again. And garnished it with a little orange and 1 teaspoon of bacon crumbles. And then, of course, the glaze. I just love vinegar on greens. I guess it's the southerner in me. Collard greens and pepper vinegar just go together so wonderfully. So I just twisted it a little bit here and put the balsamic vinegar on there. And so I just dug in and just put a little bit of that on my toast. And the little hint of the orange in the glaze is wonderful. I encourage you to put some kind of citrus in a glaze like that. It makes it a world of difference. So I went ahead and I drizzled some more on there because I liked it so much. And I just dug in and I ate it up. It was gone in no time. I hope you can try this recipe. It was really good. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.